Hi, we're going to do another example on processing lists in Python. So here's the next one we're going to do is Dr. Leclerc gives a series of exams during the semester in her chemistry class. At the end of the semester, she drops each student's lowest test score before averaging the scores. She has asked you to design a program that will read a student's test scores as input and calculate the average with the lowest score dropped. Here is the algorithm that you developed. Get the student's test scores, calculate the total of the scores, find the lowest score, subtract the lowest score from the total. This gives the adjusted total. Divide the adjusted total by 1 less than the number of test scores. This is the average, and then display the average. Okay, so this is going to be broken into functions. So I'm going to move this out of our way here, and then I'll open up a new file. Get this all set up here. And then we're going to start off with the main function, and then we'll add the other ones in. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create or have the calls to all the different functions that we're going to call. So the first thing is we need to get our scores list. So we're going to get scores. Call that. Then we want to do is get the total. So total then will be equal to get total, and we'll pass in scores. Then we need to find the lowest. And that's going to be equal to using a built-in math function min to get the lowest of a set of numbers, in this case our list. And then we're going to recalculate out our total. That's going to be equal to or minus equal to lowest, subtracting that off. And then our average would be our next calculation here. And since getting the total, the new total here, and getting the average are just single lines here, we didn't put those in functions, we just do those right here. So average then is going to be equal to our total divided by the quantity of the length of scores minus 1. Okay. And then we need to just print the result. We're going to use a f function here, average with lowest score dropped. Colon, curly brace, average, and curly brace, end quote, in parentheses. Okay. So now what we're going to do is create our functions that we need here. And our first one's going to be to get the scores. So test scores is going to be our list here. So we can set that equal to a bracket, end bracket for an empty list. And the way that my notes did this, and so I'm going to change this because I don't like the way that this is set up here, is that it asks for you to enter or to have a variable called again, set it equal to y, and then while again does not equal, or while again equals y, process, and then ask them to enter yes or no if they have another score, which means that the user then has to enter that every time they do a score. So if they're entering 50 scores, then they have actually 100 or 99 different values they have to enter. The score, and then yes, the score, yes, score, yes, score, yes, all the way down through. So what will make this easier is if we ask them to enter the first score and then enter a different value to stop. So here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Do value equals float input, enter a test score, and I'm going to put in here -1 to quit. Okay. So now we can do while value does not equal -1, Or since we're doing a float here, it might be better if we do while value is greater than or equal to 0. How's that sound? Okay. Then we can process this. Test scores dot append value. And then we just want to do this again. So I'm going to highlight this and paste it in underneath here because it's the exact same thing again. Okay. So now we can get out of the loop when we enter a -1, but we can keep entering these, just type in one after the other each time through here. So now when we get done with that, then we want to return test scores. Okay. Okay, the next one is then to get the total. So we're just going to come down the line through this. And in here then, I'm going to use value list here instead of the scores. Okay, so I'm going to set total equal to 0. So total is going to be equal to 0.0. That shows by looking at the program that we're using float values here. So for num equals, for num in value list, total plus equals num. And then we just have to return total. So that's all the functions that we have in here. So now we just need to call main. And we should be set with this. So let me go ahead and get this saved. And I don't have I'm going to set up a new folder for this. So call it processing a list 2. And then give it a name here. Call it drop lowest score.py. Okay, save that. And let's run it and see if I got any errors in here. Okay, so we're going to enter a score. Then we'll enter a -1 when we're ready to quit. So I'm going to enter a score here of 92. And then the next score I'm going to enter is 67. And then the next score I'm going to enter is 75. And then the next score I'm going to enter is 88. And then I'm going to do my -1 to quit. And there's our average is 85. I want to run this again because I think we may have a little problem in here. And this is going to be, let me move this down here. And you'll see what I'm trying to do here in a minute. So let's have we have scores of 66, 66, and 66. And then we'll put in 33 is the one we're going to remove out of here, okay? Okay, no, it didn't do what I wanted it to. So I'm going to try it one more time. And I don't know if I'll be able to do this or not. 97, 81, 75, 93, and 45. We'll do a -1. Well, it still didn't work for what I'm trying to do. What I was trying to do is see if we're going to have a running decimal on here. And if that happened to be the case and we were afraid of doing that, all we'd have to do then in our print statement up here, change this to, put in here a colon dot to F so that it would do 2 decimal places. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. I just wanted to bring that up just in case that happened to be a problem with your code on here and you wanted to change that. So I hope this helps you out on processing with lists, and stay tuned for some other videos I may have coming up on here. Bye.